Hi, I'm Ross Cooper. I'm head athletic trainer and associate athletic director here at Detroit Country Day, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about our management of concussions for our student athletes on campus. It's been quite an issue in the media with concussions and athletics, and I just wanted to at least give you a little glimpse of what we typically do as athletic trainers on our sidelines for our student athletes. Usually this starts a lot with just us as athletic trainers watching games. A lot of times we're looking for nonverbal things from our student athletes that may indicate that they may be dealing with something, an injury related to their head. Typical things that we see are shaking of the head when they come out of a play or a collision, sometimes holding their head, trying to stabilize vision, swaying or kind of blinking, trying to indicating that they're maybe dealing with some dizziness. All of those nonverbal things lead to us at least having a conversation with our student athlete to find out what they may be dealing with. When we have that conversation alongside our games or on the sideline, we're going to use our sideline concussion exam. That typically involves just kind of an assessment of symptoms, assessment of long and short-term memory through some questioning, and assessment of balance to see if they're dealing with symptoms and signs and symptoms of a concussion. If that's the case, then we move into the mode where we've got the impression that this might be a concussion and we're going to involve a physician. Each case is different. Sometimes we're going to involve the primary care physician, sometimes it's a neurologist or a neuropsychologist. At that point, once we've involved that physician, our role as athletic trainers is really to monitor symptoms on a daily basis, interact with the family, interact with the physician, and interact with our faculty as it relates to academic issues they might be having in recovering from the injury. Once we get to the point where the student athlete is symptom-free, we are going to use our Impact Concussion software. That's about a 30-minute test. It's a neurocognitive test that measures verbal memory, visual memory, shape memory. It's meant to assess the athlete when the symptoms have subsided to make sure that brain function is working properly. And that's all under the direction of our physician that we refer to. And then once that has normalized, then we will go through our return to play protocol. And that involves, usually the first step of that would be some light biking. One day would be light biking, and then we would assess, monitor symptoms. The next day, if that goes well, the next day they would do some running or some agility, obviously monitoring either that night or the next morning. And then once they reach that point, then they're moving into non-contact practice. Maybe doing some sport-specific things without in live scrimmaging, just to assess how they're doing on that higher level of activity. And then returning to contact practice would be the next step if they've cleared those 3 steps before. Once they've returned to full contact practice and it goes well, then they can return to competition. And then from that standpoint, we are just monitoring intermittently, make sure the student athlete is continuing to feel well and have no problems. But I wanted to talk about this just to give you a little bit of a glimpse of what we're doing here.